Nicole, an experienced ranger, was walking with her horse along a trail in the forest. The sky was gray, and the day seemed calm. But suddenly, the horse stumbled and slid into deep mud. The horse couldn't move. Its legs sank in the muddy ground, preventing it from rising. Nicole tried to help, but every attempt seemed useless. The horse became agitated, but the mud kept it stuck. Seeing the fear in the horse's eyes, Nicole decided to act. Nicole tried to remain calm, aware that any hasty movement could worsen the situation. The horse, with its labored breathing, tried to lift itself, but the strength of the mud kept it trapped. Determined, Nicole began to dig around the horse's legs, trying to free it from the weight of the earth. Each stroke of the shovel seemed ineffective. The horse, now exhausted, lowered its head, risking sinking further. However, Nicole didn't give up. Time passed slowly as Nicole continued to work tirelessly, always keeping the horse calm with soft and reassuring words. The mud was so thick that it seemed almost impossible to free the horse. But Nicole didn't stop, and without losing hope, she kept digging. Despite the exhaustion, her indomitable spirit gave her the strength to keep going. Every now and then, she looked at the horse, which, unfortunately, seemed increasingly tired and close to losing consciousness. The horse could no longer keep its head up, and the muddy water began to rise around its body. Nicole realized that the risk of drowning was real. Without hesitation, she knelt beside the horse's head, leaning on it to keep it lifted. She felt the horse tremble beneath her, but she didn't give up. Every now and then, the horse let out a weak breath, but it seemed the situation was worsening. Nicole prayed that help would arrive soon. After what seemed like an endless amount of time, distant sounds could finally be heard. Nicole couldn't believe her ears. Help had finally arrived. Her heart began to race as she heard voices getting closer. With tremendous effort, Nicole kept the horse's head lifted, hoping it could hold on a little longer. Soon, she saw the shadows of the rescuers approaching and gathered strength to remain focused. The rescuers, with great professionalism, arrived and immediately began working to pull the horse out of the mud. Nicole, exhausted but relieved, watched every move with anxiety. Finally, with a joint effort, the horse was pulled out of the muck. Nicole stood up, and tears in her eyes approached the horse to stroke it. It was safe, but its strength had been tested. The horse wobbled, but slowly rose, ready to recover. Nicole felt a wave of joy wash over her as the horse, despite the exhaustion, stood up on its legs. She hugged it and whispered words of encouragement, grateful that it was safe. The rescuers calmly tried to help the horse rest, but Nicole couldn't take her eyes off her companion. Every moment that passed felt like a miracle. The horse, though shaken, looked around as if trying to understand what had happened. After the rescue, the horse was taken to a safe shelter where it could rest and recover. Nicole, now relieved, took a moment to breathe deeply. She felt immense gratitude for being able to save her horse. The rescuers offered her some water and food, but her mind was still on the horse. She couldn't believe it had come out unscathed from such a dangerous situation. But the worst seemed to be over. The following days were dedicated to caring for the horse. Nicole tended to it with great attention, trying to restore its strength. Every time she looked at it, she felt immense gratitude. Their connection was stronger than ever. The horse seemed to be recovering well, but Nicole remained vigilant, ready to do anything to protect it. An unbreakable bond had been formed between them, and Nicole was happy to know that together they would overcome any difficulty. One day, as Nicole was walking nearby, suddenly a cheetah sprang out of the tall grass, heading toward her. Nicole didn't have time to react, and the cheetah pounced on her quickly, scratching her with its sharp paws. The horse, who had sensed the danger, immediately rushed to help. With incredible strength, the horse ran toward the cheetah, driving the animal away with a powerful charge. Nicole, surprised, looked at the horse with gratitude. The horse continued chasing the cheetah until the animal disappeared into the shadows of the trees. Nicole, though frightened and hurt, couldn't help but smile. Her companion had saved her once again. With her heart racing, she approached the horse to stroke it, whispering words of affection. In that moment, she knew there was nothing that could separate them. The horse was her protector, her friend, and her strength. Nicole knelt beside the horse, grateful. Her wounds were superficial, but the experience had deeply affected her. The horse, with a calm and protective look, was settling down, sensing that the danger had passed. Nicole gently embraced it and thanked the heavens for protecting her. She knew her horse was more than just an animal. It was her salvation, her guardian angel. Without it, the situation could have turned out much worse. The following days were marked by a new awareness between Nicole and her horse. Every step they took together was full of meaning. The bond they had developed during their time of hardship seemed stronger than ever. Nicole knew that no danger was too great if they faced it together. The horse, though still a bit nervous, was always by her side, ready to protect her as it had done before. One afternoon, as they were walking, Nicole noticed something strange in the distance. An unusual noise came from the forest. The horse, with its sharp instinct, stopped and began to move nervously. Nicole realized that something was wrong. She didn't want to take any chances, so she stopped and decided to wait. The horse was preparing to defend her. Both were ready to face any danger, like an inseparable team. After a few minutes of tense waiting, a figure appeared between the trees. Nicole held her breath, but the horse was not afraid. It approached cautiously, ready to react if necessary. As the figure drew closer, it turned out to be just another ranger who had heard the noises and was coming to check. Nicole smiled, relieved, while the horse, finally relaxed, came back to her. The day ended without further danger, but their caution never waned. However, the calm of that day didn't last long. Nicole and her horse, now closer than ever, resumed their journey. The bond they had created had become their strength, but deep inside, Nicole knew they could never let their guard down. They approached the spot where they had been trapped in the mud, and the memory of that dramatic moment made her heart beat faster. But this time, she felt ready to face anything. That evening, as the sun set on the horizon, Nicole stopped for a moment to look at the horse. Despite all the hardships, she had never seen an animal so strong and loyal. The horse, as always, was relaxing, but Nicole knew it was always ready to protect her. That evening, she camped under the stars, with the horse by her side, and felt safe. There was nothing else in the world she feared. Together, they would face anything. Time passed, and Nicole and the horse continued to live in harmony with the nature around them. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to strengthen their bond. The horse seemed more in tune with Nicole, as if they could communicate without words. The trust they had earned in each other made them an unbeatable team, and Nicole felt incredibly lucky to have a friend like him. One day, as they were on their way to another destination, a group of tourists saw them and stopped to admire the horse. Nicole smiled, happy to share the beauty of her companion with others. They approached, and the horse, who was used to people, allowed them to pet him. It was a peaceful moment, and Nicole knew they had found a balance between danger and peace. It was a simple life, but a wonderful one. As the months passed, Nicole and her horse became a legend in the park, known to all as the ranger and her loyal companion. Every day, They faced new adventures together, always ready to protect each other. The horse who had saved her remained her greatest ally. Together, they were invincible. And Nicole would never forget that first day in the mud, when the horse had given her a second chance at life.